It amounts to nothing more than surrendering American tax sovereignty, with U.S. taxpayers sending a check to the tune of billions and billions of dollars to foreign countries. In fact, according to analysis from the Joint Committee on Taxation, the United States could stand to lose as much as $120 billion in tax revenue under the global minimum tax negotiated by the Biden administration. On top of that, OECD released recent guidance which substantiated the Republicans' concerns. President Biden's tax deal is unworkable and it's ill-conceived. This guidance does nothing to address my concerns, only serves to underscore the deal's fatal flaws, particularly on the under-taxed profits rule, which will send critical research and development abroad. Had Treasury consulted with Congress instead of completely neglecting the American people, perhaps they would have avoided these pitfalls. And I want to make sure I emphasize what the chairman had talked about earlier. Just accepting letters from the majority is not negotiating or working with us in terms of consulting. So I want to turn my questions to you, and thank you, sir, for your service and for being here. But Mr. Plougian, the United States is the world's economic superpower, but we represent just 25% of the global GDP, 15% if adjusted for purchasing power. Multiple independent economic experts have found that the OECD deal would disproportionately impact the United States. My first question is, why would Treasury agree to a Pillar 1 framework where U.S. companies face 60% of the total burden of profit reallocation?
I'm sorry, Congresswoman, with respect to your question, are you, which pillar are you referring to?
Pillar 1.
Pillar 1. So a consistent priority across the administrations, the different administrations that have been involved in these negotiations, has been to protect U.S. interests, to protect U.S. businesses, and to protect U.S. workers. In particular, with respect to Pillar 1, one of the main purposes behind the negotiations, and this is based on input on a bipartisan basis from Congress, is to get rid of and prevent.
Okay, go ahead. Let me ask you, so do you think it's beneficial to the United States companies to pay more in taxes? I guess was that the decision that was made in implementing this?
Well, I don't think that Pillar 1 necessarily does that. So what?
Well, can I ask you, do you disagree with?
Happy Saturday, friends. Surprising news has just been released. Millions of Americans are now retiring with no savings. Also, new details have been revealed on the next cost of living adjustment for all Social Security recipients. In just 4 days, direct payments that are worth up to $4,555 are set to be deposited. My dearest friends, please do me a favor and watch until the end of this video. Also, I will be announcing the winners of yesterday's Walmart gift card giveaway, so do stay tuned. My friends, please make sure that you enter these giveaways by clicking and liking several of my videos and comment the keyword of each video that you watch. The more videos that you comment on, friends, the greater your chances of winning the giveaways. It is no surprise that so many Americans are extending their time in the workforce and delaying their retirement, especially when so many have no savings shored up for their retirement at all. In fact, only 1 in 10 Americans between the ages of 51 and 64 years old had a retirement account balance in 2019, compared to 1 in 5 in 2007. Rhode Island Senator Sheldon Whitehouse told reporters, after a lifetime of work, all Americans should be able to retire with dignity. But today, millions of Americans are retiring with no savings, while just a small fraction of low-income Americans reported having some retirement savings to fall back on in 2019. A whopping 90% of high-income households had a retirement account balance between 2007 to 2019. But as it stands, experts say that workers relying on Social Security to cover their expenses in retirement need to prepare for the trust fund to run low within the next decade. The Government Accountability Office analysis says the tax code provided $195 billion in tax breaks to subsidize retirement in 2022. However, a previous study from the Congressional Budget Office revealed that it's a top 20% of households by income that benefit from most of these tax breaks, while only roughly 5% of lower-income Americans benefited from them. Senator Bernie Sanders said in a committee press release, "In America today, 55% of seniors are trying to survive on less than $25,000 a year. Given that reality, our job is to make sure that the working class in our country are able to retire with the dignity and the respect that they deserve." The criteria governing taxation of Social Security benefits have also remained intact for several decades. Despite their establishment many years ago, the income thresholds for tax benefits have yet to receive an update. Nevertheless, parts of Social Security have experienced recent shifts or carry the potential for alteration in the near future. Meeting the eligibility requirements for Social Security is relatively straightforward if you've been put in a recent amount of time in the workforce. However, individuals who primarily engaged in part-time work may encounter great challenges in qualifying for benefits. Eligibility for Social Security centers around accruing 40 work credits over your lifetime at a maximum rate of 4 per year. This year, acquiring one Social Security work credit necessitates $1,640 in earnings, compared to $1,510 from the previous year. The primary funding source for Social Security is payroll tax revenue. Although not all earnings are subject to the Social Security tax due to a wage cap. In the previous year, the wage cap was set at $147,000. However, in 2023, it has risen to $160,200. While this may seem like a significant increase, it is worth noting that some legislators are advocating for the removal of the wage cap entirely. In this context, paying Social Security tax on an additional $13,200 this year does not appear as unfavorable. Every year, Social Security beneficiaries are entitled to a cost of living adjustment based on inflation. At the start of this year, beneficiaries witnessed an 8.7% increase in their benefits due to the elevated inflation levels in the previous year. As of July 2023, the CPIW had risen by 2.6% on an annual basis. Yet comparable data for August and September are lacking. Currently, the most accurate projection for the 2024 COLA is an increase of approximately 3%. Social Security payments typically occur on the 3rd of each month, as well as on the 2nd, 3rd, and 4th Wednesdays of each month. Your birth date typically determines your Social Security payment date. Supplemental Security income payments occur on the 1st of each month. If you were born between the 21st and the 31st of a month, you will receive your Social Security payments on the 4th Wednesdays of each month, and that is in 4 days. Well, friends, I hope that you're all having a great Saturday. That is the end of my daily stimulus update video. Thank you, friends, for joining me here every day and for being part of this community. The winners of yesterday's Walmart gift card giveaway is Gary Dawkins and Anna Ramos. Congratulations, my dearest friends! To claim your gift cards, please check your notifications page and send me a message. Or you could message me on my Facebook page. Thank you, friends, and have a wonderful and very blessed weekend.